So you're talking about him maybe being fully in control of how great he feels into the season, 2022?
And everybody reacts from a mental standpoint differently when they have injuries, right? I mean, we don't know how he recovers in terms of his mental state. Now, OBJ's been banged up before. He's had hamstrings. I believe he had a quad of some sort with the Giants. So he's been out of the lineup before, but nothing to the standpoint of a 12-month rehab. It certainly is going to be a part of a mental rehabilitation more so than his knee. I mean, the knee part of it, I've 100% believe in whichever doctor and whichever rehab center he's using to get him back right on the field. It's all about the mental state, though. How is he going to be from a mental standpoint when he's out there running or afraid to break a cut or do some things that he needs to do with his quicks? That's one thing that he's got to have back is his lateral quickness and his ability to go up and high point the ball. Some of the things that you've seen in a rare athlete. I mean, he's a phenomenal athlete. And on top of that, you look at the timeline and you look at his age. When that clock turns 30, they start looking at you differently. And I think he's 29 years old at this point. And so now you get to be 30 into your 30 and a half to that 31, they start looking at you real different.
And we didn't get a chance to see it this year because Klay Thompson didn't play. But Klay Thompson had torn his ACL. He could have came back and played this year, but I guarantee you Klay Thompson could have came back and played towards the end of the year. But how he would have played at the end of the year as opposed to how he's going to play next season will be drastically different because he'll have that much more confidence in his leg. But, Key, it transitions me to a point, this whole notion and narrative that is starting to build within the media right now that, oh, this is addition by subtraction for the Browns and that the Browns are a better team without OBJ because now, Baker Mayfield doesn't have to be fixated on him as a primary target. I heard Dan Orlovsky the other day on NFL Live say, well, look, the QBR number without OBJ on the field was with him on the field was 73.6. Without him on the field for Baker Mayfield, it's 96.2. The completion rate with OBJ on the field, 53.8. With other receivers, 78.6. So all these numbers are skewing to say that Baker's going to be better. But I would say this. First off, those numbers are skewed, man. They played against the Bengals. The Bengals give up 400 yards a game. All right, they allow you to score 27.7 points per game. It's going to look great against their secondary because their secondary's not good. I think we start to get into the meat of the season where the Browns need a big-time receiver to get them that target. I'm not saying Jarvis Landry can't do that, but still, you're going to miss him because he also takes so much attention away from people on the field.
Here's what I would say, Jay, to the numbers and to what people say. Yes, there is some truth to that by him not being on the field, the Browns are better. But let's clean that message up. Let's not make it – see, because what happens is they leave it out there and they hang it out, and people think that they're saying that the Browns are better because he's a distraction. So you got to remove that part of it. In terms of on the field, they probably will be a better passing team because Baker Mayfield will be better. And what I mean by that is he's not looking at number 13 as his first read all the time, even though Kevin Stefanski may have Odell sometimes as the third option because Baker Mayfield has such a relationship with him that he's the third option. Baker Mayfield eyes goes to 13 instead of 80, who's the first option on this particular pattern, particular route, particular formation that they call. And that happens across the board on every single team in the National Football League and every single quarterback for that matter, is that when something is called, even Tom Brady, when it's called, you're so locked in on Gronkowski that you forget that the play really was called for Mike Evans. And so you drop back because you're so used to throwing to number 13. And in Baker's mind, he's looking at it and going, well, he's going to win for me. He's going to win for me. And it forces the throws to him. So when he's not on the field, I don't have to worry about OBJ because he's not there. So now I can get through my progressions of 1, 2, and 3 and get back to a check down if need be, opposed to holding on to the ball, waiting for OBJ to break free, and then all of a sudden I'm sacked or I'm flushed out of the pocket because I got off my mark. That all is true. But what happens with the media is they're setting it up as if OBJ's a problem. They haven't done what I'm doing. They're not explaining it to you. Mm-hmm. They're just throwing a number out there and saying they're better off without him and not really telling you the full context of why there may be, not even the team, the quarterback may be better off without him. Does that make sense to you? It makes sense. Because they're not telling you that. They just want to make it sound like OBJ's a problem, and that's not the case. The problem is OBJ has a relationship with Baker Mayfield because he's a great player. And all great receivers have relationships with quarterbacks, so quarterbacks stare you down. That's just what they do. Every quarterback I've ever had would stare me down, even if plays were not meant for me.
Interesting. Okay, so Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. Key mentioned the numbers you need to know. Odell's going to turn 28 next week.
Okay.
November 5th.
So he'll be 29 when he comes back. So he'll be 30 when he's probably fully healthy, ready to go.
And that's the number Key said they started looking at you differently.
Question is, do you think he comes back and he's still Brown?
Yes.
Key? Yeah, he'll be a Brown when he comes back, but will he stay a Brown?
I mean, well, that's the question, right?
Better
Just because it feels like his chemistry with Baker Mayfield is not there.
We'll find out. We'll find out. He's going to have to work his chemistry with the guys he's got left. Again, they'll welcome John Gruden and the Las Vegas Raiders to town. A reminder, Odell is a 3-time Pro Bowler and a 2-time second-team All-Pro.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.